Paul Ryan O'Brien. Can you picture what I'm doing when I do the bow,
Yes,
bow, bow, bow? She's one of our loyal listeners.
Yes.
She's here visiting from upstate New York.
Yes.
It's always special when Paula Ryan O'Brien makes a guest appearance. We're here with some of the cast of Lunasa, the latest and greatest at Gloucester Stage. We're going to go around and introduce ourselves.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Krause.
Who's never been here.
First timer, yeah.
She's virgin. GloucesterCast virgin.
That's a stretch.
Whoa!
Shot across the
Goodness gracious.
All right, just wait.
Patty. Heidi's with us.
Yes. Heidi Dallin.
Heidi, one of probably 5 people that have a standing, you can come anytime. Right? We love what you bring.
You're so sweet.
I know I am.
God.
I'm so wonderful.
You are. You are. I guess that's why you like to have me here. So
Stroke me. Just stroke me.
Take it easy.
Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Bryn Austin, and this is my first show at Gloucester Stage, no lie.
First show. And you're like the dialect coach, right?
Yes, I do that too.
Do you
I'm
act in
the
it as
show,
well?
And I play the role of Agnes, and I also was the dialect coach for the production.
And Patty's with us.
Yeah, that's Patty as in wagon.
Patty's the one who, behind those eyes of his, I don't know what's going on back there. I feel like I want to drink with this man.
oh yeah, you do.
You do.
I want to hang out with this guy. I want to just shut down the place.
Yep.
I want to go drink some bourbon.
Being
With
on
this
stage
man.
with him is an adventure.
Is it really? Who wants to talk about Lunasa?
Well, any of us. You guys
I
want
wanna
to start? Okay, I'll
Lindsay,
start.
why don't you start?
All right, this is an amazing play, a brilliant play by a man named Brian Friel, Irish writer. It began at the Abbey Theatre in Ireland, a very famous and great theatre. It's about an Irish family. It's a memory play, the memory of a young man, of his aunts, 5 sisters, and their brother, and what happened in that family. And I think it's a great play for this moment in time, especially in this country. It's a very hard time. It's a very difficult time. People are discouraged. People are frantic. These women go through a very tough time, and the family comes through.
Mm.
And so it's an uplifting play. It's funny, and it's very moving.
Mm. It's getting rave reviews.
Thank you.
Heidi, why don't you speak to some of the reviews?
Oh yes. Well, we've had some of the reviewers coming, and they've been saying that it's the best show they have seen the entire season.
Wow.
That it's really, and audience members are just blown away. And the audience members are saying the same things. It really is a terrific show.
What are the dates?
It runs through July 8th.
Mm.
Performances Wednesday through Saturday, 7:30. Saturday and Sunday at 2. There's no performance on July 4th. So go have your barbecue and enjoy, and then come to the stage company the next day. And unlike most shows, we close on a Saturday. This show, we're holding it over till Sunday. So it closes on July 8th. So there's a great Sunday matinee.
Bryn, talk to me about the dialects.
Well, there's so many different variations of dialects in Ireland. This part of Ireland is Donegal, which is in the northern part of the Republic of Ayr. So it actually shares more characteristics with the dialects of the country of Northern Ireland. So you will hear some sounds of Scots influence in there. It has a different cadence and a different inflectional pattern than some of the southern regionalisms of Ireland. So one of the characteristics is many of the intonations end sort of going up. So, I would say, I was practicing before I got here, buy a lobster at Captain Joe's.
voiceover over there.
Right. So, and then Jack character that Patty plays, we had some fun with his because he's lived in Africa for 25 years and comes back. So he has at times a blending of some African Ugandan sounds and also the Irish sound. And then we have one character who's Welsh. Who's doing his own
Patty,
thing.
how hard is it to have to be conscious of playing, an Irish person that has these kind of influences and know your lines and everything else? Like, how is it? How difficult is that? As far like where do you place the importance of how so if you're playing a sport, right? Like you become really good when you don't have to think about it, when you're just reacting. You're not like, there's not a motion that you're thinking about each motion that has to happen.
Yeah.
As an actor, what is
that's
that like?
interesting. Years and years and years ago, I taught at a place called Lambda, and Alec Guinness was he was on the board. He was like a honorary guy, and they asked him that question, and he said what he thought of it as he's on the stage, and just over his head there's a little Guinness that stops him from falling off the stage or bumping into the furniture or whatever. It's a little bit like that. There's a bit that kicks in which is automatic. In my case, I haven't been on the other side of the footlights for many, many, many years, and so it's a kind of novel experience. It keeps coming back to me in waves, and thank God we have an ensemble that just supports me like crazy. I'm the old Irish priest who's kind of gone slightly batty and lost his language because he's been in Africa for years. But he's also, it sort of appeals because I was brought up, in the Latin chanting era of Catholicism, and I loved the ritual. I loved the drama of Good Friday, where everything's stripped out of the church and the bells. In England, I was in Manchester when I was a kid, and rather than the bells that they used to use for the consecration, they would replace them with football rattles. It's like and so and the priests took off all their garments and were just in white and prostrate on the floor and walked around the building 3 times, which I thought, looking back on it, it's pretty pagan.
Yeah.
It's like walking around the church with all the vestments stripped off, and then coming in with a single candle, and spreading it through the church at midnight. That's stuff which is that's theatre, and I think that's actually what got me into the business.
Jesus.
So yeah.
Patty's been involved with the Revels. And this play is a piece of music. It's going to take us. This is a great piece for coordination of a group, a team, and we have a wonderful team because it's like chamber music, this piece. And what Bryn has helped us do is start to get the lilt and the rhythm of these magnificent sounds. And the play is set in the north of Ireland, which was very poor. So this indomitable spirit, it reminds me of Gloucester, Donegal, this rough place, rocks, this rough place. So it's got a lot to relate to.
Gloucester Stage known for getting important pieces and pieces that speak to the times. Last year, that was the case for a couple of the plays, and they just continue to be very important place in our community. This Gloucester Stage, the actors, the actresses, the people that put it together. It's so important to us here in Gloucester, but it's so much more than that. It speaks, the reach is just incredible. We say it every time. I feel like a broken record, but we're so fortunate to have it here. So this is your first time in Gloucester?
Yes, I actually teach at the Boston Conservatory at Berkeley, but this is the first time I've gotten to work here, and I'm having just a wonderful, wonderful time. It's a jewel of a theater. And,
We get that. The lure of we get these very talented actors. They get to come to Gloucester during the beautiful part of the year and hang out. And it's like such a twist my arm to come to Gloucester type of deal, right?
Well, how many theaters, the back door, when you leave to go at night, the back door, usually the back door is like garbage.
Yeah, right. An alleyway, right?
And it's Smith Cove. Like you look out the back of the theater and you watch the sunset. The actors always always use social media and post pictures of the sunset. And this is where I'm working. Oh my
Tough
God!
gig, right?
Yeah.
Real tough.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Kim, have you seen the play?
No, we're going to go this week.
So we can look forward to one of Tom's wonderful reviews. Kim's husband always does great work with the reviews.
He loves going. He loves the Gloucester stage. I mean, we both love it, but it's not like, come on, honey, let's, it's like, when are we going to go see the play?
We're so fortunate.
And you can walk there.
Yeah, we walk. It's so nice.
And then you can walk to Rocking Neck.
Benny Sato.
Yep, Benny Sato Ambush. He
I
is
didn't
on
know.
a plane right now today.
I didn't know that he was involved.
We
He's
love
the
him.
director, yeah.
He's the best.
He's
I love
the
that
best.
guy.
He sends
I
his
love him.
regards. He's on a plane. Today's his birthday, I believe.
Oh,
Happy birthday, Benny.
Happy birthday,
birthday.
Benny.
And
Yeah.
he's on a plane traveling. He's away this week on vacation, I believe. And if his plane was like at 6, if it had been at like noon, he was going to come here and do the podcast and then go.
He's
I
such a
know.
great guest.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah, he's a terrific guy. So he sends he's very sorry he couldn't be here because he was all in. So
That's a big. So the cast is how many people?
8.
There's
yeah, it's a
80.
big cast for us. Yeah, it's a big cast.
Sharing the stage, right?
And
Can you guys speak a little bit in the? Can you do a little tiny section of the dialogue?
Could you do that?
Yeah, like
Could that happen? Could you do like a little interaction, like a little
in
snippet?
your accent. Can you do
Oh, well. What kind of thing do you want us to say?
Don't get Paddy going. He'll talk forever. But you'll enjoy every moment of eternity.
Paddy, love.
Yes, darling.
Say a few things.
I don't know what to say.
It's a first,
Caught
ladies
me
and gentlemen.
unawares. In my underwears. It's everything. The strange thing about Northern Ireland is as Bryn was saying, it ends with this inflection. It goes up in the end, like that, which is very Valley Girl.
Yeah, that's right. That's
It's true. They always end up in the air. Yeah.
So the play, they come together and they overcome.
They do.
They do, except it's grim. It's not a happy ending. It's these girls, live a really hard life. They have, and there's one terrific moment where you have 3 eggs and 8 people, and Maggie says, "Well, for me, that's a challenge."
Right.
Eggs belly bag or
They're
al
poor.
fresco. She's going to make something out of it.
Yeah.
But then the narrator, who's the child looking back in this memory play, also looks forwards, and that's no fun. They end up, the 2 of them walk out of the household because they don't have jobs anymore. So they know that they're going to be a drain on the household. And like Captain Oates, in the Antarctic, who walked out of the tent and said, "I'm just going for a little walk." He disappears.
Yeah.
Just in order to help the ones who remain. And those 2 go to England, which is what most of the Irish immigrants did. With the £5 that she saved, they got the trip over to Liverpool, and then they got jobs washing up in lavatories, and then they kind of lost it and went on the streets and poor.
What's amazing about this writer, the narration, is high poetry.
Yes.
Really, the last part of the play, having lived with writers all my life, writers get visited when they're really deep into their subject, and the final narration of the play is one of these passages it's just a flight. It's unbelievable.
Right.
So what this young man, who is Brian Friel, really, made of the memory of his brave sisters, his brave aunts, sorry, these 5 sisters, he turned it into gold. So there's something in the play that I find just lifts you.
Yeah,
There's a statistic about Donegal that I read in 1915. This play takes place in 1936. In 1915, there was 1 chair for every 9 people in Donegal.
Wow.
Ireland
Was so poor.
we can't even imagine. So it's one of the things that I cherish about the play. I go home and I don't have a dirt floor. I have running water.
Yeah.
Things that we just,
That's
in
it.
this country, we take for granted. This play just reminds me.
And don't forget the radio, how important the radio is.
Right, there's this Marconi radio that comes in and out because it's a...
With this incredibly sophisticated music
Right.
coming into this dirt poor environment. Just, Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire.
Yes.
So it started June 8th. It goes to July 8th. It's set in 1936 Ireland during the Celtic Harvest Festival. Dancing at Lunasa chronicles the 5 Mundy sisters. A radio brings 1930s dance and traditional Irish folk music into the home at rather random moments, and then, equally randomly, ceases to play. Brian Friel's signature masterpiece features Gloucester Stage veteran and Academy Award nominee, Lindsay Krause.
Grammy nominee and Emmy nominee as well.
Well, what the fuck? Who made this? They're making me look bad on the whole press release
We
here.
just found out. Lindsay has so many accolades, she forgets about them. So, and she was very familiar with some of the music in the play. I think it was fait accompli. Lindsay had to do this play, right?
Right.
Yes, Marconi brings in Anything Goes, which my father wrote.
Oh, how cool.
Isn't that
In 1933.
That's, wow.
cool? And Brian Friel did it. We didn't do it.
Full circle. Full circle.
So I sit on the stage with shivers.
That is so cool.
That stuff like that must happen to you all the time. Just because you've been everywhere, you've done so much. You know what I mean? Like stage, television, movies. It's there must be so. You know how they do the Kevin Bacon thing, the degrees of Kevin Bacon. I would love to see the chart on Lindsay Krause.
Yeah, we should start that.
That would be a cool spider web there, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Do all the lines.
Yeah, and that would put you, look at Paul Newman, like you're just 1 degree away from Paul Newman now. Because Lindsay worked with Paul Newman.
Oh, you talk about me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, wow.
You're 1 degree.
Like through you, so many would come off of her spoke. There'd be like this, and there'd be a few coming off here, and then there'd be Lindsay Krause. Just an explosion.
Oh my God.
Explosion. Well, thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you.
The show, do you have anything you want to say in closing, Heidi?
No, come and see the show. It's great. The next 2 Sundays, we're doing talkbacks after the performance. So
Talkbacks are really fun. If you've never been to one, tell people more what a talkback
So immediately
is.
after the show, the audience is welcome to stay, and the actors come out, and you can ask them questions about the show, ask them about their experience, if you have anything you want to say, if you have any questions. And you don't have to see the show that day. So, for instance, Pat's coming on Wednesday. Yeah. Pat's coming on Wednesday. So, if any Good Morning Gloucester audience wants to come and see Pat in the audience, Pat's coming on Wednesday. But if she was like, I'm really interested I want to find out, she could come back on Sunday, just call the box office, find out when the show gets out, and you can come back. They're free, so you can just come in, wait for the show to end, and walk in. Yeah, and walk in with the audience. You don't have to be at the show that day.
What was the date on that one? On the talkback?
Sunday's the 24th.
Sunday the 24th. Yeah.
And then July 1st.
And yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, it's just a
so
week. Wow, Sunday the 24th. That's a big weekend. You normally
Yeah, that's a
say
big weekend.
you normally say the next weekend, Fiesta weekend, everything
Right.
kicks off.
Yeah.
Right,
But that weekend,
We went today.
with
Yeah.
the three different things we
Things-
talked about
right,
already,
that weekend already. So
It's-
yeah.
things
Yeah.
are just blowing up.
and Playtime Stories starts that weekend too.
Yeah, we're going.
The
I'm going
theater
with
for
my
the
granddaughter.
2-year-olds.
Yeah.
Oh,
2
crazy.
years old and up.
Beautiful.
Baby Charlotte will have to give us a review on that and
That would
post
be
that
great.
on Saturday mornings.
Saturday
And Youth
morning.
Acting Workshop starts July 6th.
I've taught at the youth acting workshops, and they are great. I mean, it's such a great thing that Heidi does.
Golly.
You know, for kids to get that confidence, to get up in front of people and share themselves, you can't replace that. It's great.
I love seeing the Christmas show. To me, like that thing with. And Ruby McElhenney just continues to I just go back to Ruby McElhenney, that
That
little mite,
That
and
first
she
year.
just emoted and the confidence, like where did that come from?
She
And
sang
it's
a
the
solo
confidence,
and-
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She
Well, it's
just
great
owned
to
it.
see the kids. Like Talia DeWolf is going to college.
Yeah,
But she texted me last week and said, "When does Youth Acting Workshop start, Heidi?"
Oh.
Because she'll come by and visit with the kids and work with them and help out and mentor and I'm really lucky. There's a lot of wonderful young people in this
That's
town, and they're all the actors in Playtime Stories. All the kids.
there you go.
Playtime Stories troupe.
Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joey.
That's great.
So my buddy Will Antonoff showed up.
Okay. With that very whatever that is down
Shh,
there.
don't say anything.
Oh boy.
That electric blue something.
Emily can probably relate to. She understands what's going on right now.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
So Will is a fellow Weber Grill aficionado.
Yes, right.
Ooh.
Will has many more Weber grills than I do because I
really?
pared back my
How
collection
can
to
that be?
to make my
How can
wife
that
happy.
be? They're
Crazy.
everywhere.
Crazy.
So Will, what's the count up to now?
I don't have an official count, but it's
Over under 20.
around 20 probably.
Oh, makes me look like a
Like a lightweight.
novice. He's a pro. He's got some very very classic grills. He's got some ones that have the 3 vents on the bottom. Do you still have your stainless steel Performer?
I have one. I sold one of them for pretty cheap just because I had 2 and I just don't want to have it. I got to pay it back, but I'm not like Joey where he sells them all the time. But I have to get rid of them.
You don't understand. You think I wanted to sell them? I
I
didn't want to sell them.
Some
I was
mistaken
getting heat at the household, so that's where that came in.
Have you ever seen in real life that one of those aqua colored ones?
The Glen Blue,
Is that what it's called?
Glen Blue.
Glen Blue.
I've seen only pictures. I've
Only
never
pictures,
seen one.
yeah.
I know a lot of guys in the
Yeah, we've never seen one in the wild.
Weber County.
Like the Wedgwood
Wow.
blue? Is
Huh?
that the Wedgwood one?
No. The Wedgwood Blue is a new color that they introduced in
Okay.
Europe.
It's like a 60s blue.
yeah,
Was it made in the
Oh,
60s?
okay.
This is called Glen Blue. Is one of the most highly sought after colors. We'll stop boring people. I know that people know about my.
Their eyes are
Psych.
glazing over.
Yeah, but really, the subject wasn't supposed to be about Will. Will always trying to make it about himself. Over there. Emily, his wife, has a wonderful shop in Concord Center, right?
Yeah.
And it's called Callie and Fen.
Callie and Fen.
We've spoke about it on the podcast before. When Will is here, we always.
When at first, I was going to say we were here when you announced the opening.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
Yeah.
too.
And she's going to be carrying some of Kim's.
Oh no! I said I was going to go to the shop and we're going to talk. We're going to talk.
Oh.
We're going to talk.
Also, that wasn't. I thought you said that she was going
No.
to carry some of your things.
Yes, I said we're talking about that. So.
Oh, okay.
Anyways.
But I love your photographs.
Yeah,
That's
thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't know. You told me.
No, I said I.
Potentially,
Right,
Joe.
potentially.
disgusting.
So I'm gonna go visit her shop this week or
See what
next.
she
It's a beautiful shop.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. She sounded like she had beautiful things in it.
I think that it would be your type of things would be very complimentary for her
I
shop.
think it would be a good fit.
Yeah, I think it would be a good fit
It's
too.
New England and Massachusetts,
Yep.
and that's what has a lot of focus on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's an eclectic shop. I have, some fair trade global items, but I have a lot of things that were handcrafted in New England. Some local artists. And, after I opened the shop, I had people walking in who make things and say, hey, would you like to carry my stuff? So I do have some local people, which is nice. And people in Concord like that. They really appreciate, handmade and locally made things. So.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Do you have gift cards that are printed like with local scenes?
With local scenes?
Like for how this
cards?
note cards. I'm sorry, note cards. Like with
note
it, they open up and people write little notes inside.
I have a couple different ones. I do have a local one. She's a nature photographer from Concord, and she makes cards. So I have some of those.
Do you have any with ocean type of
I
scenes?
don't, and I would love that.
Interesting.
I have a whole beach wall in my shop. It's all beach, like home decor items and things, all kind of beach related. So I would love more ocean themed things.
Well, what's the address?
It's 93 Main Street in Concord Center, which is the historical district. So it's a Main Street address, but I'm kind of behind because there's a lot of kind of little alleys and side streets. So it's 93 Main Street, but the entrance is actually on Mill Dam Lane, and I'm right behind William Davis Real Estate.
If someone types Cali and Fen into Google Maps, will it bring you there?
Yeah, I've got a Google.
Right. That's what you got to
It's
do.
very.
I have a website. I'm on Google, Facebook, Instagram.
Beautiful. We'll put a link to the website.
Main Street, Concord, if you've never been there, it's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful, just very classy, wonderful area. It's really, really nice. It's very...
One of my best friends lives in Concord.
Yeah. I love Concord. It's a great community.
How many restaurants are there in Concord?
I don't know the number, but there are a lot.
There are a lot.
A lot of great little places.
Really?
Coffee places, yeah.
See, I must have missed them all because I drive through there and I think there was like 2 or 3 restaurants, and then
I think they're kind of like tucked in.
I say some are kind of tucked away. Like my favorite coffee place is kind of behind. You have to know where it is to get to it. So. There's also West Concord has a lot of restaurants now. That's a couple miles from Concord Center.
And I don't think Lexington has a whole lot. So I think a lot of people go to Concord, right, for shopping and dining and
lunch
stuff
and
like
shopping.
that. Yeah.
Maybe they could see some of your prints one day.
There you go.
That'd be a destination. It would make it a destination type just to go there, just so they could see some of the illustrious Kim Smith's prints.
That would be
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yeah, that would be lovely.
Like what type of scenes could you envision pick like that would sell in your shop in
Pictures of
Concord?
Weber grills.
We actually talked about putting a Weber grill in the shop.
One blue one.
That's smart.
Because I sell these spatulas that are made in Massachusetts that have a whiskey stained handle. So we're actually going to put a grill in to display them. So.
Did you did you put that? Did you advertise those for Father's Day?
I did, yeah.
Smart. She's a smart businesswoman.
Yeah.
God bless her. They also have a pellet stove.
Oh, you did?
So they're near and dear to my. These are my people. These are my people. All about the pellet stove. Anyway, Kim, we need a plover update. We're down to 1.
We're down to 1. I'm really sorry to say.
Crow.
A crow.
Those. We know how we feel about crows.
We know the crow, yeah.
Kate is
No
going to
love
be
for crows
furious.
here.
No love for crows.
Just probably made it worse for her. Yeah.
Did the crow just pick it out of the?
Just swoop down and flew out of
Did you get the
sky.
video?
I wasn't there.
Dang it!
I know.
Oh,
well,
That would have been great footage.
I do have
Huh?
footage.
Who would want to watch that?
Me. Hello.
You could put out an Amber Alert or something?
I do have footage of a seagull taking one away. Which I
Did
don't.
you? Oh, you're holding out.
No,
You're
I don't
holding
know.
out for the
I don't
movie.
know if I'm going to put that in my film or not.
Can you show it to me privately?
Yeah, I could. I have to. It's from the first year. I have to find it.
Just like swooping down, taking it away as the legs flailing around. Like, Mama, save me, Mama! I'm a baby plover up and down. I'm gonna get eaten by this.
Fortunately, it happens. I mean, it's relatively quick death for the.
Oh, they break the neck?
I don't know. What they do, but
Did you see squirming at all?
They're
relatively
pretty
quick.
fragile, I imagine. They're so small.
They're so small.
Like little marsh
It wouldn't
balls.
take much to.
But it was the one that was. So there's a lot of plover violence. There's the bachelors there, and they're also attacking the chicks, and because you'll love this, I'm sure. If the bachelor plovers knock off all the babies, then there's a chance that the female will mate with them
You could get a little.
and start a new nest. So yesterday, or no, the day before yesterday, the really aggressive bachelor plover knocked one unconscious, and but
Do you
the
have
same
footage
one
of
that
that?
was killed. No, that happened on somebody else's shift as well.
Why don't you take a little
the
BB
one-
gun and take out the bachelor
You know
plover?
what? If you say that, you know what the dog
You're in
people are
danger.
saying now that because one of the monitors said, "Can we throw shoes at the seagulls, or can we have a BB gun or a water gun?" Now on the dog friendly page, now it's all about how the plover monitors are vicious, attack people because we want to throw shoes at the gulls and at dogs and gulls that are in the nesting area.
What about snipers? Could you have snipers set up in the dunes?
You are getting the plover monitors in so much
The
deep
grassy
doo-doo
knoll.
right now.
The grassy knoll. Get the scope. I would love to. You know what you could do for the movie? You know how they have those filters that they have the crosshairs? And you could like pretend like it's a rifle scope on the bachelor plover going like this. And you could have like, kind of like, you know how have you ever seen those YouTube videos
This
from
is a
the...
movie for kids, FYI. This is a movie for kids.
This is
For
real
little
life.
kids.
Do you ever see the videos from like the war, the real life, and they have they're like in the choppers, and then they see the terrorists, and they like look like little ants, and they target them, and then they shoot them with a missile, and like it's like pretty graphic, like bye like terrorist. I mean, you could have something like that, but with the scope.
I was just zoning out while you were talking about the scope.
So where do you fall on the whole, like, taking the bachelor plover out? Yes or no?
Well, we were thinking about it. It would be very, very complicated to do that because they have done that on some beaches. Take the unmated males out because you're just basically trying to get chicks to survive to live.
Yeah.
And but it would be very, very complicated, especially because none of our plovers are tagged. So we wouldn't want to mistakenly
snipe the real father.
To take the real father away. So it's very but what might happen? We've had a death by a dog, a gull, and a crow. If we lose all the chicks, they very well could make another nest. It's still early enough in the season.
So if they make another nest, I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to put Kim on suicide watch because she can't handle this mentally. She's already she's so frazzled right now that
I'm really overtired.
she's cooked.
We just need to give her some medication or something.
When you say take out the bachelor, you mean physically remove.
No, sniper.
No, physically remove.
Just want to make that clear. I just want to make that very clear.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you. So
Maybe a bazooka.
Given the earlier discussion,
right.
I thought we should.
Thank you very much. We would capture them with a nest.
What were those things that you used to get the marbles and you put your hand out straight?
Slingshot.
Yeah, and you let the marble.
See, you're really going to get us in trouble with the DOG people by saying stuff like that.
We have to spell dog now?
We spell dog now. That's where we're at.
We can't even say it?
No. We have
They
to
cannot be named?
tread. They cannot be
That's
named.
better. That's better. Well, no, there are so many dog owners and dog lovers.
She can't help herself. She's got to get herself in trouble.
100% behind the plover.
Yeah.
So,
And working very hard to
And working
save.
very. Heather Hall, our main volunteer right now,
Has 3 dogs?
has 3 dogs.
Oh my God!
Right. So, but they all have dogs. Like one of our volunteers works for a dog walking company. You know what I mean? So, anyways, we have awesome volunteers, and most of them own dogs, but they want to see the endangered species survive as well.
Sure.
So they
It's not
recognize.
mutually exclusive.
Right. It's not mutually exclusive. Exactly.
There you go.
There we go.
I hope you have.
Good job.
I hope this ends. I hope you're not sad at the end. That's the only thing. I want victories for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
I pull in the same
Victories for
direction.
the plovers.
We had
That's what
one.
we're really
We had
talking
one.
I really care about
we
the
had
plovers
one
so much. I
we
care
had
about
one
you.
survive last year,
And
and
you're
it
going to
was
be hopeful
right,
that
we're
this
very
will
hopeful.
Out of how many last year?
4, and the
Oh.
state
It's
average
one
is
and the same.
1.6 out of a nest of 4. The state average is 1.6. So if we just
If
get
they
one,
do another nest and they have another
Right
set
now-
of bees,
Then we're going to have a problem.
we're gonna have a problem because it's gonna be.
She's
we're
gonna
gonna lose
it'll
her.
be so
We're gonna lose
lazy.
her. I'm telling
You
you.
like rent
Yeah.
a straight jacket anywhere?
You're gonna have to lock her down.
Yeah.
We're going to have to take her out.
You know what it is?
Yeah,
It's
we're going to have to
like
remove her.
I
Physically
go to-
Take her to
remove
the
her.
cave.
I go
Yeah.
to bed at
Yes.
10 or 11 at night, and I'm getting up at 4 to go monitor the plovers, and
Oh.
it's just a lot. It's just a lot.
I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it.
Well, you do it too. Right. Plus, but next week is my last week of garden. Getting all my gardens in the ground.
So then we can have you more focused on your duties here.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
And now my next duty is go home and make brunch.
All right, go ahead. Why don't you get out of here? Go to your family because I know it's Father's Day. And Tom you should be with Tom right now because you know how kids
Is there
are.
any
Kids
bacon with those pancakes?
Oh,
Yes, bacon. We're having
Hey,
bacon too.
I hope everybody did a nice job and recognized the men in their life if they're fathers and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
I got really taken care of yesterday.
Nice.
That's so nice.
Was that noise? Am I crazy?
Now you're in the doghouse. Oh shit.
All right, we're gonna say goodbye to Kim and then we're gonna stop. We're gonna resume.
Happy Father's
Hey Kim,
Day.
thank you for coming in.
Yeah, it was
Tell Tom Happy Father's Day.
Yeah.
Are you gonna take a muffin for Tom too?
Oh, if there's one there.
There's one
I
for
will.
Tom.
He
Oh,
loves it.
did Will get one? Make sure Will gets one. Emily, do you want a muffin?
Well,
They'll probably grill it.
Will, have a muffin.
It's gonna grill them.
Yeah, I don't want to take them all.
All right,
Go ahead.
Well, guess what happened last?
I got 2 handmade cards, and they weren't just handmade cards. They were pop-up cards.
oh,
One of them was a
wow.
pop. One of
they
them.
made them?
That's a
Eloise
hard degree
made
of
me a
difficulty.
pop-up card where when you open it up, the grill had popped up three-dimensionally. Said Grill Master, Greatest Dad, and then you could lift the hood of the grill
Oh, my
up,
goodness.
and there was
Oh,
hot
my
dogs and
God.
corn inside.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Wow,
So
that's
awesome. And then
I wanna
Madeline,
see it.
I have it in the car. It will be posted here because Madeline made this one for me 5 years ago. So, and then Madeline made one. She looked up what candy bar was made the year I was born, and she took a screenshot of the candy bar. 100,000 bar.
$1 bar. Yeah.
dollar bar was made. It came out in 1967, the year I was born. And then she took reviews. So that was on one side of it. This was the year you were born, and then on the other side, she took reviews of the candy bar. And she took little snippets of people said, and this is why you are, it's super sweet,
And
like
she
you.
did a
And then
review on
all the little reviews.
That's awesome.
It's incredibly clever. I mean,
Where
it
did they
is.
get that creativity from?
Their mother's kind of creative, and
Save that for her
Awesome.
college applications.
well, I'm gonna say for her wedding day,
Yeah.
so I can put it on the big screen.
Oh, you are going to be a puddle the day she gets married.
Yeah.
I really am gonna be a puzzle.
Yes, you are.
I really am.
You're also going to be bankrupt.
I'm starting to freak
Yeah,
out.
that's true too.
having just gone through this.
Yeah, you got some rough years ahead, buddy.
Yeah, I don't.
You have to get through the dating first.
I'd
Good
stop.
thing you're mature now, and
Yeah.
you can
Don't
roll with
stop.
the punches.
Everybody needs to stop talking.
Good thing you have
He needs a moment.
concealed carry permit.
I don't know. Yeah. Oh, God. Okay, I have to I want to do a shout out to Trio and Cape Ann Brewing present. They're doing their summer kickoff beer dinner. It's a combination between Cape Ann Brewing and Trio. It's 4 courses paired with beers. June 19th at 7 p.m. by reservation. Click on the link. You can make your reservation. Trio's the new
That
restaurant.
sounds intriguing. Yeah,
It's right in our wheelhouse. Beer,
absolutely.
as we spoke of. Our friend Bex,
Yeah.
FOB Bex. I had a project at the house that I didn't feel perfectly comfortable doing on my own.
So you gave her a call?
I gave her a call, and she came. She banged it out very quickly.
It's nice to have that extra pair of
I
hands and
asked her
that knowledge.
if I could help. She was like, "No,
Step back.
step back. I got this." And she quickly, efficiently. It was like she doesn't want big jobs. She wants
Right.
like the 1 hour job, the 2 hour job,
Yeah.
the
She
half
helped us
hour
out,
job,
too,
like the
yeah.
stuff that you just
We
might
were-
not have the right tool for, or
Like
not
everything.
Or
the
just
right
need
knowledge.
an
Right.
extra pair of hands, or
So she came, she kicked ass, she left, and my shit is done.
and your shit
Those
is done.
off
off the list.
Every once in a while, she'll post before and after pictures of little jobs that she's done, and they're so impressive because she just finishes things so nicely. She does a great job.
Did we talk about her on the last podcast?
No, I don't think.
Okay,
well,
good. I didn't
the
because
last
I don't know
one.
if I you know how I keep my show notes. I don't know if I
Yeah.
just copied the one
Actually, I
from.
wasn't here
So.
for the last one.
Yeah, I don't think you
Neither
did.
of us
I
was
did.
here.
Okay, great. So I'm glad I get to mention her. Comcast. I just want to say this. You know how we always shit on the cable company,
Yeah.
Yes.
and they do
you're
charge
right.
outrageous money, right?
Awful.
But I just want to say this: the Xfinity. It's not Comcast. It's Xfinity, I guess. That we have. Do you have Xfinity?
Yeah.
Okay. That remote that they have, were you talking to the
Oh, the
remote?
voice
Oh, I don't
remote,
have
you have that?
Get the whatever,
How
whatever.
much does it cost?
It, no more than what other box that you have.
Oh my
Get the
No,
box.
it
that you,
costs more. It does. It
if
does.
you have a, if
we
you have
just
a
got
box,
service.
if you have a set top box,
Yeah.
a set top box is a set top box. They
No, you have to have. I think you have to have. You have to have internet as well through
Yeah, I
Comcast
got that.
to have. So you could probably get it.
For no extra charge?
I'm telling you.
internet
Well,
company.
listen. If you haven't renegotiated your cable contract in like after every 2 years,
Yeah.
they like you usually sign a 2-year deal,
Yeah.
and then after that they go outrageous.
Yeah.
And you have to like call and threaten to cancel it, and then they'll come back. Then they'll redo you for another couple of years.
Can
at
you
a- at
do
a-
that for me?
No, I don't know. I really
Sound
can't
very
do it.
experienced.
I know. I
But you
would
can
think
do
that.
that.
Would be good.
You can do that. You can say, "Listen,
I'll give you
I got
commission
I
on
got
it.
already go
You
look."
could ask Bob.
There's
No,
the
I'm
commission.
kidding.
There's the commission right
I'll give
here.
you a commission on it.
If you go to what's the Dish Network or something like that, and you go onto their website and say for new customer deals, and you just write down what they're offering for the
Yeah.
deal, and then you call Comcast and say, "I'm switching over, unless you can make my thing better." They'll lower your bill. Just so you know.
A lot?
Everyone, yes. If you haven't renegotiated it in like 3 or 4 years,
Yeah.
they bang you,
3 or 4
and then you got to come back.
All right.
We
Get
just
them-
got the Xfinity set up at the apartment, and it's funny you should bring up the
remote
remote thing because yesterday in front of my sisters I'm saying, "Hey, do you guys have one of these? Look, it's kind of neat, you know." And I picked it up and I pressed the button and I said in a very clear voice, I thought, NECN, and I got MSNBC. Then I said NECN, and it was like ESPN, and then we did this like 4 times.
Well,
And
the thing that I just wanted.
usually it works very well. I don't mean to. Usually it works very well.
I wanted to give them a shout out because their website, you can add services, and it's very clear what you pay. It's much, whatever they're doing now compared to what they did 10 years ago.
It's out there. It's not hiding.
It's gotten,
It's transparent.
it's pretty transparent. The website, you can add services and delete services and see where your bill goes to and stuff like
we
that.
set everything up for the first time online.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
It's
was-
they just
yeah.
do a lot better job now than they. It seems like it's come a
Yeah.
long way, and that remote is, and their interface on like the
guide
the
thing.
guide is so much better than
Well, we're still
you can
fumbling
search.
with that a
I
little
think
bit.
their
but
on demand is primitive though.
Yeah.
we haven't tried that yet
Awful.
because we've got
If you
the
don't
other-
have, do you have an old? If you so you can't talk into the box and say an actor's name, and it'll show you every
No.
thing that they're in that plays. There's a lot of different things you can do nowadays with that. It's the X1 box. You need to get it. Get.
I wish you'd just call them and talk for me.
Oh God, I can't stay on.
when
that.
it's Joey recommended, it's a good deal.
You just do it.
Every time.
You just gotta do it. We didn't talk about. Kim wanted to talk about Save the Horribles. They have a GoFundMe page. The Horribles Parade they have a hard time raising money, especially when the 3rd of July is
they
close to
have that.
Fiesta.
Yeah, that's a tough time
I know,
slot.
but can you imagine no Horribles parade? That would be.
Yes.
I couldn't imagine. It's one of my favorite
I mean,
days of the year.
kids, and it's an event everyone can go to, and
You know what I love about it? It's
The traffic.
I love it. I love going down there and walking the route kind of and just seeing all the different types of people, that live in our city. Like
Yes.
the downtown people. Just everybody's out and everybody's in a good mood for a
Yeah.
parade. Everybody's in a good mood for a parade.
It's true.
And the Horribles Parade, they never get, especially the committee. It's a ton of work. It's a crazy amount of work, and they don't get nearly enough credit for pulling it off.
Yeah, that's
so props
so
to them.
Do they have a GoFundMe page, or what do they have that they're?
There's a
trying to raise?
GoFundMe page that you can donate to. That's what Kim was referring to. Did anybody see my Queen Anne furniture?
I did.
Yes.
Right.
I did.
I'm
See
not
it.
Sure, I agree.
I'm
You don't agree?
No,
No, because
like
when
it?
you're
I like real Queen Anne furniture.
yeah.
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 I don't like
Gives you
those.
nice
I
feels.
walk into some of these old hotels and stuff like that that have all that furniture, and I just want to vomit.
I love it.
Really?
I do. It makes me feel immersed.
Yeah. You should go to a hotel in Japan. There's none of that. I just was in Japan. No
Yeah.
Queen Anne anywhere.
There you go. No, some people took big time offense to it.
Oh,
So there was
I
there was
take
definitely
time
pushback.
offense, I just don't agree. I don't.
No, I'm
feel
not
that
saying
way.
you did, but there was a lady that really got upset with me. But I just,
well, I don't have it.
it's
in
just
my
my.
house
I guess
necessarily,
it's just my personal taste. But I believe that younger folk that travel, if they you know how they book things nowadays.
yeah. Oh,
they
yeah.
get online and they look at the pictures, and more than what the hotel photos are. They look at the visitors,
comments.
visitors' comments and
Reviews.
visitors
TripAdvisor
TripAdvisor
stuff,
visitor photos, because that's
whatever,
not doctored up. Those are real photos from real people. And these younger people, if they see those kind of rooms, they're not going to stay there. I'm telling you, they're
Well,
just
no, I mean that isn't, especially for younger people. I think I was a little older when I got to like it when I stepped into a place and saw that sort of thing.
I just think that some of these stodgy old places could, for short money. So the premise was that some of these stodgy old places that charge like $110 a night or something, if they spent a little bit of money and took all that stuff out and put some more kind of modern touches,
Something lighter, maybe, yeah.
then that they could charge more money for the per
perhaps
night.
that's true. Yeah.
Because I know that there are big swaths of generations of people that will not or do not want to stay at one of those places, and will spend a little bit more money to stay in a swanky place.
Yeah.
That was the
I
premise
don't-
of the post.
Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
I would probably. I'm thinking I would probably do that. When I look at pictures, I wouldn't go somewhere with. Kind of, it depends on where you are too.
Yes.
When I was in San Francisco, we stayed at this little place, and it was on the a ghost tour, and so that was great. They had a grand piano, and they had cocktails every night in the sitting room, and that was great. And that had all kinds of old-fashioned furniture and everything. But I don't know if I was staying in New York City, I wouldn't.
No. Well, there you go. That's everybody has their 2 cents. This is it.
This is it.
Summer's
We're
here.
Sliding into
Summer is here.
Yep.
It's just going to be weekend after weekend after weekend of madness.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wait. This is a
great.
subject I have to bring up
Okay.
because I'm starting to hear it as if it's never happened before, and that we have to point out the ridiculousness.
Okay, I'm ready.
The bridge that people have never seen the bridge go up as much as the bridge has gone up this year. Every year, people are like, oh, it never used to be like this. I remember when I was 7 years old in the back of my father's Mercury Grand Marquis with the Naugahyde seats, with my shorts on, with my legs stuck to the
Naugahyde.
thing, and we were stuck at the bridge for an hour when the boats went through. Back then, 45 years ago, and it's no different now than it was back then. So it's not worse now than it ever has been. It's the same. It's the summer. It's about 2.5 months of traffic.
Yeah.
So instead of taking 8 minutes to get from, here to downtown, it's going to take you probably 15. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Our restaurants,
Plan for
our
it.
retail shops, they need to make a little bit of money right now to carry them through the winter so we can have them year round. So instead of complaining 24/7 that it's never been this bad, just like the inverse of the retailers that tell me in
been
March and April that it's
bad.
never been this bad downtown, and you're going to see everybody go out of business, and then 2 months later they're packed. It's the same inverse thing.
Yeah.
Yes, there has been this much traffic in past years. If your memory is that short, just in case you don't remember, it's the same.
Okay. It's out there.
True.
It's
Is
out
there
there.
a schedule
It's true.
for opening the bridge?
No.
No.
It's
Well,
out
and
there.
it's the luck of the draw too. It's whenever you're going. I mean, I go over there probably 5 times a week to go to the cupboard.
Do you really go to the cupboard that often?
Oh God, yeah.
I don't go there enough.
Have schedules.
I love no.
Yeah,
Because
no,
they
this
have to
does
make the
not,
boat
because it
people
would
wait.
make, because there's a lot of times where that might be on the schedule, but there's no boats that are there. The boats are coming through, and there's so many different factors that it's not gonna. The guy, it has
Maybe
to
the
be.
train one.
There is.
Maybe the train drawbridge.
There isn't an algorithm that could. A human could do a much better job managing that than.
Yeah.
And unfortunately or fortunately, when there's a ton of boat traffic, it's gonna be irritating to some people if they haven't planned ahead.
Yeah.
And what I lived on Kent Circle, which is right on the other side of the
Yeah.
bridge, and if I would going home, I wouldn't even consider going the boulevard this time of year. I would just go the highway and come back through, and then when I left, if I was coming up there and I saw the bridge was going up, I would just loop right back and go right up the highway to get back into town. I didn't even, not even for a second would I wait. I would just go the other way and just.
Well, it's a way of life. It's what happens when you live by the. How many people live by the ocean?
Yeah.
How many people can
Yeah.
say it's a way
Millions.
of life for living by the ocean? I mean, around here.
I hope in some ways it makes people stop and look around, because I like to just. It's not so bad just looking around.
Yeah.
Take
Heidi,
a
you're
minute
not
to
on
stop.
Facebook, or you are on Facebook?
I'm not on Facebook. No, I'm on Instagram.
Are you on Facebook? You're on Facebook, of course.
Yes.
So, are you familiar? Don't they have isn't there some kind of social media bridge selfies?
Oh,
Like
I don't-
when the bridge is up, people get out of their car and they take selfies
Oh,
and
I
they
don't
post them
know.
Well,
on.
if there isn't, it's a good thing to start.
No, it does.
Wouldn't
I don't want
surprise
to
me.
act like I took credit for it. No,
Yeah,
that's something
I
that's
don't know.
happening.
I'm not familiar with
Much
that.
like the Gloucester Rocks thing.
No, I'm developing a bridge game though.
I'm gonna go look for Gloucester Rocks all day. Now that you
I
tell me.
found one this weekend while I was here.
Wow.
Yep.
Very special. Kate's gonna be upset. She missed one that she could have had.
Yes, that's right.
She's beating out all my 10-year-old students.
There
I'll
you
tell
go.
them Kate's getting all of the rocks.
There you go. All right. What do you know? What number did we say this is?
284? Was it
84.
84?
Yes, 84.
Two. All right. GloucesterCast 284 Part 2 is in the books.
Well done.
Mini series.
That was a busy one.
Thank you for the muffins.
Yeah, they're very good. Thank you.
I have a couple presents for you, Joe.
Oh!
Oh.